When we do NFC, it's very special. For example, the main stage, you have no panel happening on the main stage. What we do, we have only experiences happening on the main stage. We create a full immersive room only for the 2 days. It's pretty crazy, 6-meter high walls with projection 360, and every 10 minutes a new show is happening. It can be an artist creating live and every day with a crowd here. We had some dancers and mixing dance and digital art, magicians, poets, singers, actors. So we have performances happening there. We have gaming tournament happening there. This year we'll have also something pretty crazy for 1 hour, an horror escape room created by a great artist. So it's a kind of a game, but horrific in the universe of Lovecraft, the writer.
We are in the Goethe Institute, and I have today the pleasure to speak with one person that is really relevant, if not the most relevant person in the NFC Summit, an event that is calling a lot of attention in the Web3 AI culture scenario of Lisbon and outside. People are coming here to kind of have a bits and bytes of what is blockchain and what is the culture connected with blockchain, and have this on site. So you can see their performances. Well, about NFC Summit, we're going to speak soon, but I am going to invite, he's here already, but I want just to give a round of applause to welcome our guest, John Karp. John Karp.
Thank you, Eddie. Thank you. It's such a pleasure to be with you today. Thank you very, very much. It's always a pleasure for me to talk and an honor for me to be with you today. So thank you for having me, and happy to be with you at the Goethe Institute today.
That's my pleasure. Usually we are in a more, how can I say, I am in my habitat in our studio. I am more comfortable, but it's fine. I feel at home.
Yeah, we're not in your sofa today, but next time, maybe in a year from now, we can do a new one at your place, basically.
No worries. I'm super happy already. Goethe is an amazing place. But today is not about Goethe, it's about NFC Summit, right? And today is also happening here. Can you tell a little bit about the warm-up event in this beautiful garden that is happening here on our background today?
Yeah, I will start with me to make it simple.
Sure.
Everything I've been doing in my life was about people. So I started my first company like 15 years ago called hackathon.com. So it was all about basically letting tech companies like Facebook, Google, Meta, X, Intel, Samsung to be connected with developers. And it was so we've been organizing 1,000 of events like this, also bringing this concept and changing the concept of what is a hackathon to adapt it to corporate like LVMH and retail company, gas industry, etc. And it was also all the thing is, whatever happened, innovation, whatever happened, in the startup world, it starts with people. And in a world where we are becoming more and more digital, we almost live in the metaverse, even if it's not the metaverse that people have been imagining. But at the end of the day, we spend most of our life online. We meet people online first. It was not the case, I think, before COVID, 10 years ago. We meet people online first, and maybe then, eventually we meet them in real life. So we are digital people. And the more we are becoming digital people, the more we need physical event, meeting in real life to accelerate, to nurture, to make sense, to really give sense to everything you're doing. And this is why, I really believe that IRL event are bringing a lot of added value to anyone, companies, corporate, funds, innovators, startups in what they're doing. And so this is what I've been doing on my life. Then, of course, when I discovered the blockchain a long time ago, I started to organize hackathon related to the blockchain. But then when I discovered more, I became kind of investor and collector in 2020. So it was pretty late, but I did go deep into NFTs.
Sure.
And I had the chance to be pretty early in on this topic. So yeah, well, decided to go all in into that and to create everything related to this world. So I created a French podcast at the beginning called NFT Morning.
Being hearing about it is cool,
Yeah, it's cool. It's a
and it's Twitter
daily.
space
It's
now.
a, yeah, it started on Clubhouse like 4 years ago.
Clubhouse. Oh my
Then it
god! Yeah.
became a Twitter space. Then it's also podcast. It's always on Spotify and Apple Podcast and everything. So you can see all the episodes. We've been producing about 860 each.
But live broadcasting is just not just in Twitter.
Yeah. The live is on Twitter and LinkedIn, exactly, and on YouTube actually. So yeah, I'm still doing this every morning basically, and in the same time, I opened a space in Paris called NFT Factory.
It's amazing. I know the place.
Area.
Yeah.
That is really a nice area.
Yes.
And in the same time, I really wanted to create also an event that is a new kind of crypto event. For me, I didn't want to do a crypto event like the other ones. I wanted to do something that told to myself, basically. And this is how I end up, it was in 2021 with the idea of doing this NFC Summit. And so basically now we are working on the fourth edition that will happen on June 4th to 6th in Lisbon, Portugal. 2 days in the middle of the city in the Pavillon Carlos Lopez. Pavillon Carlos Lopes, as we say in Portuguese.
Yes.
That is in the beautiful Palazzo in the very middle of
It's
the
beautiful.
Central Park.
Yes.
So it's really, for me, an iconic monument of the city, basically.
Yes.
And one day in Caparica Beach, beach party for all the attendees partying it there, basically. And so, yeah, this is basically the big event. Last year we had like 5,000 people joining for all around the world, actually, from like 65 countries.
Yes.
And tonight at the Goethe Institute, the idea is just, we are just kind of doing starting the countdown, I would say. So right now we are 20 days to the conference. And so we just do a small meetup to meet, it's all about people. Meet the partners, some sponsors, some attendees, some speakers, just few crowds who are there, to have a drink together, enjoy the early summer in Lisbon.
It's amazing already.
And, have a good time, basically.
It is amazing already. The sun is, when I was in the office today, I said was a great choice of venue, because I said, Katya, we're going to have the chance because we are working so much. Let's have a chance. Goethe Institute is so good. Was a prime choice. One of the things that's super good about, and I see that you're doing so well, it is that first what you said is amazing, is that during COVID times, I think people understood that, okay, we are in a digital world, we are communicating, working, etc. In the beginning, people said, cool, amazing, we are home working, we don't need to go to the office. I think it was the first 20 days. And then after, people start to, for sure, miss this interaction, right? And one thing that you do very, very interestingly, I think so far, is one of, if not the only, one of the few people who is doing on this 12 years that I in Web3 and blockchain, it is that usually tech or dev world is pretty much a little bit not dehumanized, but a bit cold, right? Just like not so much sparkling, etc. And we NFC, every time that I am there or I am participating, whatever, it is this blend of pop culture, design, technology, fashion, luxury, also very democratic with everything. So you found a very, very melting pot solution in which you can give to a spectacle for people that never heard about what is blockchain in life to have their first impression. And did you preconceived to create an event in which you could do this melting pot, or your creative process was something natural you were doing and you were seeing that you imprinted your own spirit
it's
on
a good
that?
question. I think it's both. Yeah, the idea, because basically, the initial idea I got to do this event was because I was attending a lot of crypto events. All the East conference are great. East Denver, East CC, DevCon, or whatever, consensus, things like that. It's amazing. It's nice.
But
it was not my vibe. It was not my vibe because, it was extremely focused on the new layers, the new
Dev, dev,
technology,
dev, program, program,
dev.
program.
I know, I love devs. I've been doing hackathons
Absolutely, yes.
for
yes.
like 12 years, so I know it by heart. But for me, it was not the angle that was the one that will onboard people, basically, and say, I want to see. And when I was, and when even now, when you're talking about all these topics, that are really retail, that could onboard the next billion, culture. This is what I believe in. I really believe that, okay, cool, we have a financial revolution that is in process. We have DeFi that is in process. That's fine. But I didn't want to go to another event that looks like a bank event, basically. And so so they say now, I really believe that, and I still believe in that. And it's a strong belief, even if, to be transparent, this vision is extremely minor vision, I would say, compared with everything else in the blockchain world. But I really believe that revolution will come by culture, by movies, by art, by music, by video games, by everything, that people enjoy every day. And for me, this is the most interesting thing on the blockchain, is the one that will onboard the next billion. Okay, on one hand, of course, you have tokens, you can pump, you can dump. Okay, that's fine enough. But on the other hand, there is something that is happening behind. And this is what I believe in, and this is what I want to see. And this is why, in terms of topic, in terms of people, I'm more focused on getting projects than on getting protocols, basically. And so for me, we always believe that protocols will change the game because we have more transaction per minute or whatever. For me, what is really important is to get projects that will onboard people.
Unbelievable. That's a very great vision, and it's a very hard task to fulfill. Why Portugal start to raise your attention? What is lacking in Paris that make your eyes be more bright about Lisbon and choosing Lisbon to be hosting the NFC Summit?
For me, it's really a good question because I was not living in Lisbon when I decided to organize NFC. I just benchmarked Europe, and I had some ideas about what I wanted to do. And I wanted to do something where the event is more or less taking over the city. Paris is great, but Paris is huge. And so, when you're doing something in Paris, people are going for your event, but they're going for the city. And so they want to also visit museums, to go to the Eiffel Tower, to do things. Me, I wanted to go, of course, Lisbon is a great city to visit. But, for Americans people or for other kind of people, it's not mandatory for them to go to Lisbon in their life, And this is what I feel like was interesting, actually, to bring people that come really for you and really for the conference. And then I have some specification. I wanted sun. I wanted cultural background. I wanted tech ecosystem, and even especially for the event with the Web Summit, I felt like it was interesting. I wanted historical, classical art history, and when I've been starting to check all of this, a lot of people told me, yeah, Lisbon, Lisbon, Lisbon. And I feel like, we will never regret this choice because I think it's a great choice.
Okay, we are very, very happy and glad that you had this choice towards our city. We are very in love with our city as well. This very multi-ethnical, I think was one of the first multi-ethnical countries in Europe, and of course was the cradle of all the melting pot ethnical like Brazil and etc. We really know how to melt all the culture. We are very good, very proud of that. And tell us a little bit, some type of information or highlight or news that only you know, and that should be some type of surprise, so we can kind of, since this is a recording, right?
Yeah, okay, yeah. I think that you mentioned that quickly, but when we do NFC, it's very special. For example, the main stage, you have no panel happening on the main stage. In any other event in the world, not only crypto event, but tech event, the main stage, you have like 4 smart people on stage and 1 moderator, and all along the 2 days, you are seeing these panels. What do we do? we have only experiences happening on the main stage. And when I say experiences, we create a full immersive room only for the 2 days. It's pretty crazy, it's pretty expensive also, to be transparent. But we create this kind of huge immersive room, 6 meter high walls with projection 360. And we create something even more crazy. Every 10 minutes, a new show is happening. The show can be different things. It can be an artist. Like last year, we had Beeple, the artist, creating
Yeah, I
live,
love it. Yes, I
creating
saw.
live, and every day
Yes.
with the crowd here. We had some dancers in having in the middle, mixing dance and digital art, magicians, poets, singers, all actors. So we have performances happening there. We have gaming tournament happening there. This year we'll have also something pretty crazy for 1 hour, an horror escape room created by a great artist
No way.
that will happen there.
Okay.
And so it's a kind of a game, but horrific in the universe of Lovecraft, the writer.
That's amazing. I mean, one of the other things that you do that is so cool is that you create, like if I can say something about NFC, is the blockchain you can use and play. It is that all the time. It is this interactive. Structures, and you bringing different medias, different industries. Now you're telling me this is super great.
We try, yeah, as much as we can. We're here to experiment. Of course, we have all these key people, speakers that are coming.
Yeah.
We have like Anton, the co-founder of 1inch, key people from Bitpanda, people, and talking about crypto exchanges. We have in gaming world this guy called John Linden, the founder of Mythical Game, that is basically simply the only game now that have the FIFA license.
Wow.
Electronic Arts don't have it anymore. It's a blockchain game that have the FIFA license.
Really?
Yeah, the FIFA rivals, and they will release this game during NFC. We have like this, a lot of key projects, like, this guy called Soel that launched Part of Dream, that is one of the leading world asset company where you can buy a part of a horse. We have all the key artists. Of course, it's my background. So, basically all the worldwide artists, really famous, DK Motion, that is huge. Eric Calderon, aka Snowfro, that
Wow.
actually is one of the most important, digital artists in the world. And we have like 20 like this almost.
Amazing. You were speaking about your background, and usually on my interviews I love to understand the background. Can you just tell us a little bit in root what is your formation, what is your...
I've been studying business, but studying business does not mean so much at the end of the day. But I was always interested by tech. So I started, the first startup I worked, it was like almost 20 years ago. It was cryptography.
Wow.
Digital signature startup.
Wow.
So it was pretty close to the blockchain world, actually.
Okay.
And then yeah, basically I fell into the event world and I co-founded this company. I created few startups.
And what is the media of arts that you... I'm now very interested on your connection with arts. So whenever you want to express of course, visual and digital is something that obvious because NFC exposed that is multimedia, even is music DJ. But what is the usually arts that you yourself you are mostly connecting as a media to express? Is music, is painting?
Actually, I really express my creativity in my business.
Okay.
Really,
your canvas.
Really. I really feel like
I can see.
I see a lot of connections between being an artist and being an entrepreneur.
Absolutely.
And all the biggest artists in the world, they are more good for me in entrepreneurship than in creating art, actually. If you see the biggest one, Jeff Koons, if you see, I don't know, some people don't like him, but I think he's a great businessman. Orlansky, all these guys, they are huge business people. And so, yeah, for me, I feel like my creativity expression is coming into creating event basically.
This is, and you're doing so well, my brother Ari. It's being very, very beautiful what you've been doing. This humanized box of experience in which you get in. There is colors. There is this horror, escape room that you're gonna do in next. But I am super impressed. One last question. That's my personal curiosity. So we can go to the last remarks. Usually, and I'm fascinating with something that is happening in France, happening more in the last 5 years. This Station F, this LVMH, the luxury, explaining to hard to get in markets the value of NFTs, intellectual properties. What was or what is your angle usually when you're speaking with Balenciaga, when you're speaking with LVMH? What is the angle of to convince them of intellectual property? What is
it's challenging. It's very challenging. I've been, actually, I haven't mentioned that, but I've been organizing for 3 years now an event in Paris, but it's a very small one called Non-Fungible Leaders, focus on matchmaking between big corporate and Web3 startups. So the next edition will happen in January 2026 at La Samaritaine. It's a big shop that belongs to LVMH, basically. And we are bringing, hundreds of corporate and more or less, hundreds of startup, and we're doing some matchmaking activities,
Wow.
And so for me, it's my kind of my background, because when I was organizing events, it was always for corporate, basically. I think it's super early for corporate. They can do it, but it's still pretty opportunistic, pretty communication. So far, what I tell them, I try to show them what they can do now, what they will be able to do in 2 years, what they need to think about for 10 years. And, now it's pretty obvious, just accept payments. Start with this. We accept Bitcoin. We accept any cryptocurrencies. Start with the basics, Don't try to do faster what you can. It's already a big challenge for a lot of corporate to accept cryptocurrencies, actually. And it's the presence. You have the stablecoin revolution happening now. You have a lot of things that are currently happening in the US. You have a lot of banks, that are giving you some loans based on crypto collateral.
Wow.
So it's happening now, and for banks, for the financial industry on one hand.
But do you create some type of a sandbox for them to experiment? Let's say last time I was in NFT Paris or also NFC Summit, I saw some type of digital goods or clothing, digital stuff. Are they doing this stuff? Are they using?
They're trying.
But you create some type of sandbox for them.
I think now I would not say that I'm not doing this. They come, they think, they have good teams, they work on it. Last year we had Balenciaga, for example, joining.
Yeah.
They came because they released a ledger.
Okay.
A ledger cover. It's a way for them to be in touch. This year, actually, we have a lot of very traditional companies that most of them have been created in the 19th century, that are the national posts. The French post, the Austrian post, the Swiss post, the German post,
with the stamps,
Portuguese post, and we have one full area that we call the digital stamp corner, that is focused on how the stamp industry is getting revolutionized by digital and by NFTs.
So you are involved on that. So I've been hearing about this case of the mail from France using tokenizing or making NFTs of rare posts, so people can collect not only the physical but also the digital.
Exactly. Yeah.
Can you tell me about this? Is an interesting case.
It's interesting because stamps is maybe one of the oldest collectible. Even I think me, when I was kid, my grandfather educated me to collect stamps, and I'm pretty sure somewhere I have a book with all my old stamps, even if I've been moving to something else. But a lot of people are, I don't know, I don't have the figures, but it's hundreds of millions of people in the world that are collecting stamps.
Yes.
Right now, in Asia, it's crazy. And so, yeah, I think it's really interesting because, of course, the average age of stamp collector is pretty high, and they need to find ways, to renew also generations. And so, now all the posts, they have different experimentation, but most of them, they have a standard. When you're buying a stamp, you have a physical version, but you have also NFT version of it. And you can basically, you can use it, for example, to stamp your letter, but most of them it's for collection purposes, basically. And, you have even a big, actually you have 60 posts in the world that have released some stamps. And more are going, and it's really becoming kind of real world.
Resurrected the
And we know we have this
stamps.
guy that will talk that who's been collecting all the stamps. It's like 500, all the digital stamps that has been released so far, for example.
Wow, it is a great door because Post teaches countries, also can teach some country that can be used as currency, by the way. So it's a great door for adoption of blockchain, and you putting a multi-centenary institutions plugging into NFT, you can show this to people. People will be all the
I
time.
think for these people from Posts, it would be also pretty surprising to be in the middle of all these legends. But I think it's interesting.
It's interesting, right?
Yeah.
Okay. We are going to the end of interview. It is super interesting to talk to you because you are an OG. It's all the time very good to kind of pick your brain. You are doing this multicultural events, so you're very, very good to speak with. Multidisciplinary, I think that's the word I want to tell. And if you want to give us last remarks with insights about the event, shameless promotion, tell people how they can get discounts, or if there is some spot to share, how can I say, prime secrets, it is here because it's a box. Nobody's listening to us, you see? And only gets from outside of this box what you allow.
For me, it's important. Basically, our tickets are pretty expensive. The full price is 600 euro, but this full price is for people who are not following the communities. Then, for communities, it's really important to have something very affordable, and this is why I will give you a promo code that will give 90% discount on the ticket.
Wow, amazing!
For the 10 first people who use it, for the 10 first people who use it, they will have this access, and so they will pay basically 60 euro instead of 600.
It's amazing. It is 6 events, beach party.
Everything including, 3 full days of
90% of discount.
And happy to, really recommend you, especially if you never did it, to come. If you did it, you know that you have to come.
And now this year you're doing swags. Beautiful swags.
You saw it, yeah. We have some merch, exactly.
How people can get this beautiful swag?
Actually, on the website, we have these swags available. We can buy your ticket with plus extra swag, basically.
Okay.
And there are some ways. We're always doing some games on our social media also to collect some swags, basically.
Some quests.
Exactly.
Guys, it was amazing. I was long time willing to have this to get the interview from John. John is a person for sure is not a Lisboetan citizen. He is a Parisian citizen of the world. But whenever he's here, it is all the time a bless to have him here. John, thank you very much for.
Thank you, Eddie. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for being here. That's it, my friends. That was our version of NFC Summit Web3 District powered by the Quantum Post. Thank you very much for watching us. Come to the event. The dates again. What's the dates of the event?
June 4th to 6th.
June 4th to 6th, straightforward. Come buy the tickets, buy the swag, and come have fun. I think it's one of the few events that you come to blockchain event or tech or whatever and have so much fun and exciting news. Thank you for watching us. Thank you again, John. So let's see each other on June.